This is going to be by far the biggest update Minecraft has ever seen. If you thought that 1.17 was crazy, wait until you find out what's coming. Number 1. If you're like me, your inventory is always full. Luckily, Mojang decided to add a new item that might solve our issue. It's called Bundle, and you can now craft it using rabbit hide and some string. Rabbits are finally useful for something, so it might be time to build a rabbit farm. The new powdered snow will now spawn naturally in some snow biomes, so you better pay attention to your feet or you might fall into a pit of powdered snow, and if you don't escape quickly, then you're gonna have to respawn. You can also use it to trap your friends when they least expect it. You've just finished building your house, but it's dark inside, so why not use the new light block? It will be completely invisible and you can even choose how much light it should put out. However, there is a catch. It will only be obtainable in creative mode, so you're gonna have to stick to using torches. Number 4. Are you tired of mining for diamonds? Well, good news. In 1.18 there's going to be a completely new way of finding them. All you need to do is find this new fossil that generates with diamond ore inside. It's not a dragon fossil, but at least you're gonna get some extra diamonds. Unfortunately, it seems like they're going to be super rare and will only be located at the very bottom of the world. Minecraft already has a lot of flowers, but this update will give us one more, the Spore Blossom. It's pink and can only be placed facing downwards. It can be found in some of the new caves, and it also emits these cool green particles around it. Despite the fact that it's pink, the Spore Blossom cannot be crafted into pink dye. So if you want a pink sheep, you're gonna have to find it the hard way. Imagine you're just exploring your Minecraft world and you find this. That's an azalea tree. It looks a little like oak, but you can easily recognize it by the leaves. It also has super long roots, which are made by a new block called rooted dirt, and it will only generate underneath these trees. But wait, before you chop it down, remember where you found it, because every azalea tree leads to the new lush caves. And I know that I've been teasing these new caves, but don't worry, we'll get to that soon. Number 7. With all the new changes in terrain generation, you might come across a giant sinkhole. Sometimes they are filled with water, sometimes they will lead hundreds of blocks down. Either way, the thought that you can accidentally fall into one of these is actually really scary. But fortunately, they are not as bad as the real life sinkholes. Everyone has dreamt of finding an infinite vein that just keeps on going and never ends. Well, this update has got you covered. Now there are going to be giga veins of iron and copper hidden underground. While not exactly infinite, these veins can have hundreds of ore blocks in them. Not only that, but they will also contain blocks of raw iron and raw copper. Just so you understand how huge these veins are, here is an 8-block iron ore vein. This is the biggest vein of iron that you can find in 1.17 Minecraft. And here is an average 1.18 giga vein. Yeah, mining will never be the same. Minecraft apparently doesn't have enough biomes, so Mojang is adding several new ones. Some of them are meadows, groves, snowy slopes, and the deep, warm ocean. They also decided to remove some old biomes, just types of hills, edges, and plateaus. In the past, you could go up and down, but you'd always remain in the same biome. Now, that's no longer the case. The biome can completely change if you go down into the caves, because the new cave types have their own unique biomes. I think I've teased you enough. Completely new types of caves are coming. Lush caves, which are my favorite, dripstone caves, and the deep dark. That will be the home of a certain new mob, but more on that later. What's even crazier than the cave types is how huge these caves can become. Basically, since Minecraft was first released, caves have been the same. Small tunnels, which sometimes connect into bigger ravines. While there are still going to be smaller caves in 1.18, what we're excited about are the new massive caves. Like this one, which is actually inside of a crazy mountain. This creates so many opportunities for building, and it kinda reminds me of that one Hermitcraft base. What happens when the game tries creating a mineshaft but there's a huge cave in the same place? Well, this is what happens. The mineshaft will have supporting pillars going all the way down, and from the top it will be connected by chains hooked up to the cave ceiling. And when the mineshaft generates in one of the new cave types, the result is just beautiful. Number 12. The height limit is going to be finally increased from Y256 all the way up to Y320, a whole 64 blocks up. This is insane. Just imagine how tall your dirt towers can now be. Mojang wanted to make sure that there's going to be plenty of space to build, even on the tallest of mountains. Of course, this means that the clouds will be higher as well. But not only that, the world is also 64 blocks deeper, spanning down to a crazy Y-64. That's where bedrock is now going to be. Everything below Y0 will be dripstone only. Everything above will be stone. This makes the deepest regions of the world the least accessible, but if you're brave enough to go there, you might be rewarded. The sculk sensor is being added. This block will change redstone forever. It detects nearby movement. The closer you are, the stronger the redstone signal. Wondering what 100 sculk sensors sound like? You can trigger it by jumping, placing or breaking blocks, a piston going off, a lever being flicked, or when an item is dropped. Hold down shift or just walk on wool and you won't be detected. Actually, anything involving wool cannot be picked up, so I don't think we're gonna see the sculk sensors in Bed Wars anytime soon. You can do a lot with this new block. For example, a piston door that opens when you're close, automatic streetlights, or a completely invisible TNT trap. I think you get the point. The sculk sensor is insane. Recently, there was a leak of more items, like the sculk block, sculk shrieker, sculk catalyst, and sculk veins. Torches are now going to be OP. Yeah, in the 1.18 update, even light level of 1 stops mobs from spawning. Until now, you needed light level 8 or higher. Personally, I think this is great, because you won't have to spend torches everywhere. Number 15. Big drip leaf. You can find this new plant in lush caves or grow it from small drip leaf. This might be the coolest plant in Minecraft, because with bone meal you can make it super tall. It's also great for parkour due to the way it closes. You can only stand on it for exactly 1 second before it starts closing, and once it does, your fate is sealed. After a few seconds it opens up again. You don't need silk touch to break it, you can just use your fist. Fun fact, when the leaf is powered by redstone, it won't close when you stand on it. But if you shoot the leaf with a projectile, it closes immediately. Good to know, I guess. New ore generation is coming. Mojang gave us this intimidating image, but it's quite simple. This is how ores used to generate. Iron is below sea level, diamonds only at the bottom. Everyone knows this. But this is how it will be in 1.18. Since the world is deeper, things get a bit more complex. Here is the important stuff. Diamonds will spawn from Y16 downwards. The deeper, the more likely they are to spawn. That means Y11 is no longer going to be the best way to mine diamonds. Instead, there are two new options. The first is mining at Y0, avoiding all the deep slate and collecting every ore type. The second option is mining as deep as possible, just above bedrock. Also, the deep slate variation of copper and iron will become very rare in 1.18 because they barely generate that deep. However, by far the rarest ore will be deep slate emerald, which will be completely unobtainable in the new update, so make sure to get a bunch of it ASAP. One of the most anticipated things in 1.18 is of course the Warden. This scary looking mob will reside in the deep dark caves, which, as the name suggests, will be located in the deepest regions of the world. The Warden is strong, and I mean really strong. It will kill you in just 2 hits, even if you're wearing full netherite armor. But Mojang still doesn't want him to be a boss. He is also completely blind and can only find you by sensing your movement, similarly to the sculk sensor. So why would you go anywhere near this thing? Well, the Warden is guarding a room full of chests, and because we know how strong he is, it's safe to assume that the loot in those chests will be worth the risk. But by far the biggest change in this update are the new massive mountains, the tallest of which can generate up to Y level 260. That's more than the old height limit. If you don't think this is absolutely amazing, then something's wrong with you. Not only will the mountains get bigger, but they will also be pointier, giving them a more realistic look. Some of the peaks are so high up that they remind me of the pyramid I built on my server. You have to watch that video if you haven't already.